Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube right now, and you can find these shows. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live. Like and subscribe.
With us in studio, YouTuber, social media influencer.
Yeah. Car enthusiast.
Car enthusiast.
A
entrepreneur,
a man that knows a man who knows the proper way to do things, and thirsts for a more proper way to do things, and will judge you if you do things the Tom way.
It couldn't be any more opposite.
Yeah, the complete and utter opposite of Tom doing any job. It is our friend Matt Moreman from Obsessed Garage.
How you doing?
Glad to be back.
Good to see you, man.
I find Tom to be very motivational to me. That,
what?
Like a repelling magnet.
It makes me feel good about myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't handle, like if you, we thought about this one time, like maybe I said it to you. I was like, oh, you know what would be a funny video is if we had Matt come over and just Matt survey your garage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about this for years.
No, it's
I've
real
avoided
bad
it at
now.
all
I think
costs.
it would break him.
It would break you. Yeah.
I don't think he would enjoy it. That's not a fun video for him.
Yeah. Especially, it's funny because I don't have any of that Matt has with wanting things like attention to detail.
Yeah.
And things done the proper way. Like, I want it fast.
Yeah, you want it quick and dirty.
Quick
and dirty, yeah.
But I also want good and the cheapest.
Yeah.
With all that.
But he's also locked into what I would say he's locked into a cycle of he knows he's cheaping out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he knows he's doing it, and then when it comes back around and let's say the four-wheeler does fall apart in front of him, he'll be like, I shouldn't have done it. I do it, but he'll do it again.
Yeah.
He'll never go like, well, this time maybe I'll do my research, maybe I'll get the vehicle and maybe I'll buy it new to spec the way I want it, and then maybe I'll keep it perfect and keep the manuals, tune it the way I want to, do everything the way I want to do it. That way, when I want to upgrade and get rid of it, I'm giving somebody something that's desirable and it will sell because of the way that I've taken care of it.
I heard like 4 maybes in that.
So enough about me. They're here to talk to Matt.
Yeah, we are.
Tom's looking jacked.
He is. He looks good,
I haven't
right?
seen him in a while.
Doesn't he look good?
Watch him doing half marathons.
Yeah.
I saw his time. Like, I could beat that.
Yeah.
You could definitely beat it. It's not that good.
I'm impressed with it.
Yeah, I have to force myself to do these things, Matt. It's not in me naturally. Like every part of it's miserable to me. The preparation for it, although it did teach me like all this stuff, like trying, like because you can't do it unless you literally force yourself to start getting a routine and to work out and stuff like so.
You have a routine now.
So
congratulations. We have a routine now. I
'Cause
mean, this guy's doing it.
It'd be impossible. So I've realized I'm just tricking myself into like forcing myself because I have to analyze this high before I'm like I do have self accountability and to probably an unhealthy level where I'll just blame everything on myself. A long time ago I was just like blame everything on yourself and that will help you in life. And then I do it even if things that have nothing to do with me, I'll blame myself. Horrible things happen around me, blame myself. But also what that does is it forced me to be accountable for anything that I even go to do, even though no one else cares. Like, I'll sign up for this thing. I have to do it.
Right.
If I don't, then I'll be so mad at myself that I can't live like that. So I'll just
because you didn't make the Santa run.
I'll force my.
Okay.
It's weird, but I'm so bad at life that that's what I had to do to force myself to even do this.
Okay.
And I don't know if that helps anybody out there, but
what do you think of his methods, Matt?
See, I'm the opposite in that I have to simplify it down to like today. Because I'm thinking of like the next 40 years of my life. All right, this run is going to translate into me being a Ironman in Hawaii, so I have to no, let's just deal with today. Let's not sign up for some crazy run around the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're not a dreamer.
Well,
or
because
are
that's
you
my
a
natural tendency is
Yeah.
to think too
Take
big,
it too far.
Okay.
which is unattainable and impossible.
So rein it in.
So what I had success with last year was let's just eat a steak today, and go to the gym, and that's it.
Day by day. I mean, that's how
Instead of-
alcoholics do it.
yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
And there's a psychology behind like I don't
I
just
drink every single day. Get up, you do it again.
No, just like just don't do drugs and alcohol today.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's a day by day. And that's how
Gotcha.
they teach you. And it's probably
Gotcha.
Because
I
otherwise
do
it's
feel like if-
unattainable.
I do feel like if you told drug addicts, like, hey, here's a steak, go to the gym, they'd be like, it's not bad. Better than no drugs and nothing else.
So, Matt, let's talk about your YouTube channel and where Obsessed Garage is going.
Yeah.
Because the last time we talked to you, I know you were thinking about opening up some different factories in different countries, which I thought was insane. I was like, different countries?
I've always wanted to open a factory. Think of how horrible you could treat the people in the factory. Like, get to work, you factories! Yeah, come on!
They're like, lock the door so they can't get out because they don't want to leave.
Because I'm at that window. Every factory I've seen, or at least the one I'm imagining, there's a window at the very top
for the boss
stands, and they can't get to you up there.
yeah.
And you're like, get to work, you scumbag.
So, how's that going?
Canada opens, I think, in the next couple of weeks.
Canada?
So the
What
Canadian
about the
distribution.
tariffs?
Um,
I'm kidding.
And then, I'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to open them in China, by the way.
Yeah.
Canada may not be. I don't know if
those are
anybody
the
told you.
nicest factories in the world. They're so kind.
Yeah. You need to go to the places that with the the locks on the doors and the kids
Exactly.
that were working. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Australia will be in June-ish.
That's
No,
closer.
I'm not,
Closer. Aborigine. Can you say that? Aboriginal children?
to simplify it, we're talking about
basically-
like a warehouse where we ship stuff.
Oh.
So I'm not doing a lot of manufacturing.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
be
If you're
doing some
doing
bottling.
manufacturing, you want your children to smoke. They're
It
good.
keeps them working.
Yeah, if they're smoking, they're fast.
And then UK will be, later this year. It just, I have all this unique stuff, like say unique pressure washing gun or unique product for, taking care of your car, and I get ripped off in all these other countries. So I literally have like Matt Moreman copiers that copy what I'm doing, and then they get rich. I'm like, well, I want to get rich in the UK.
Yeah.
And so I want to get
Unplugged
rich
Performance.
in Australia.
You're familiar with Unplugged.
Oh, sure,
that do,
yeah.
Tesla stuff. They have copiers online as well. And I found the copiers. A listener asked me about it, found it on Reddit. I sent it to him. I said, are you aware of this?
I think it's Ben, yeah.
And there are people that will go and find guys like small businesses like Matt and other companies that they're big small businesses, but small business, and find their cool thing and copy it perfectly and then undercut them and steal their designs. It's crazy.
Is that
because
what
it's
they're
not
doing?
available there, right? A lot of the products that I've made up, some
Yeah.
I don't really invent
Can you give us
anything, but made up
an
stuff.
example of something just so people can, like something simple?
So let's say when you're pressure washing your car, you want a gun, like the pressure washing gun. I want it to be short.
Yeah.
So that way it doesn't have a big long wand. I'm trying to clean the wheels.
Like a stub nose.
And so I made one with a swivel in it. And so I worked with a company out of in Switzerland to make this like a great swivel where the swivel doesn't bind. It's super smooth. It has different fittings, so I made special fittings. And so what'll happen is some guy in the UK will call up that company, Mosmatic, and say, "Hey, I want to sell that thing in the UK," and they'll say, "Okay, great." And so then that guy will go take my pictures, take my description, put it up there, and call it the Obsessed Garage gun. And
Literally called the same name, like stealing everything.
Yeah, yeah. I have one guy who uses we all have like different quirks. Like he'll use my words exactly, like words that no one else would say, and he'll use them
like junk. You say junk
that's
a lot.
junk, or what do they say? Curated. I curate products. Curated retail, and he'll say I'm curating this, and he'll say and he'll talk about how I'm looking obsessing over the tip and how it atomizes, and he'll say I've been obsessing over the tip and how it atomizes. Right?
That's insane.
It's wild.
Is this like YouTube thing? Because
so he started a YouTube channel. He started a brand, and then but he's a super fan of mine. He's a little too simple to realize. I use this term, honor the source. What I ask the audience, hey, if I'm the one who talked to you about this gun, this pressure washer gun, would you honor the source and buy it from me? And so then I got a guy in the UK say, hey, would you honor the source and buy it from him?
He's got a point.
He believes that he's honoring the source because he's copying. And I had to tell the guy, and he would send me emails saying, hey, look how great I'm doing. I'm like, dude, you're like using my words and selling all my stuff.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, well, it's not available here. I said, yeah, but get your own thing, man. And so now he hates me because I had to tell him finally. I said, look, it was stressing me out. He would email me and tell me how good he's doing at copying everything.
Look how
I'm
much
doing.
money I stole from you.
This is what-
I like that.
We've got listeners like this. This is what EJ
wild.
does. And when you have to tell simple people that they're copying you, they get so angry. If I had a nickel for every time I told a simple person something, and then they get mad at me. And they're strong. That's the thing about simple people. They're very strong.
They got simple strength.
And they
A
will
lot of it.
simple rip your arms off.
So
You know, he's really nice. He wants to do good. Well, he wants to do well. He loves what I'm doing. He wants that life that I've created, you know, for myself.
Too simple.
A lot of people want that. And so what, you know, I'm sure you guys have had people do this. They copy you where it's
Nobody copies us. Back to you, Matt.
Literally,
well,
they're like,
you-
I'm not copying that.
They're like, that's Joe.
you model the path. You model this path of, you know, how to take and build your own radio station, essentially,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so modeling the path, most people aren't original thinkers. And so the problem with capitalism is it sort of encourages this, you know, competition, quote unquote competition.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm realizing is why a lot of companies are real secretive about the new product they're coming out with. And they like, for example, when I went to McGuire's, I had to like sign an NDA, had to turn the camera off.
And that's the big boy auto
It
parts.
was right.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
a big, you know, car. You know, everybody knows McGuire's like soap and you
Yeah.
know, things to take care of the car. And
Sure.
so to go in there, I'm like, why are you guys being so secretive? Don't you want to tell everybody about how awesome you are and what you do? They said, yeah, but then everything gets stolen. And so I'm getting a little taste of that small business.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have other smaller businesses to take from the slightly bigger small business. And so I used to complain about this. And so what I've been focused on is create a bigger problem. The problem is I don't like this. And so how could I capture or get credit? You don't care about the accolades. I care about getting paid for
Yeah.
making the market. So I make this gun and I make it viable and I make it known and I light the match for the world that says, hey, I want that gun too. And so I had to build the distribution network in order to be able to not complain about this. Then that guy can't copy
Right.
because I'm in control of that product. He can't call.
Yeah.
And then I tell you what, why don't I just teach him how to copy exactly and buy it from me? And then I'll be happy. And anybody can copy all they want.
Right.
And so I had to create a bigger problem. But in the beginning, I had no idea. I was just begging companies to let me sell their stuff. And so then it turned into, well, now I'm influencing the market by accident. You know, I didn't write a business plan. This
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
happened. And then I'm like, holy crap, I'm responsible for selling like $50 million of this one thing. I'm getting to sell 10, which is great, but I sold all 50. And so how can I get a cut of all 50? And how can I do that where I'm not, you know, hacking everybody off? How can I do this sort of inclusively and make everybody feel good about it instead of I would call these companies and say, you're screwing me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? They're like, no, we're not, Matt. You're getting the lion's share of it. I said, yeah, but I made it all. That solved nothing. And so as you mature as a leader and as a business person, you sort of figure out, okay,
Write that down. Write maturity.
Oh, yeah.
Maturity.
how could I create a bigger problem to solve? And so that was international distribution. I've got to build a warehouse. And what my plan was to go build a warehouse, sign a lease, hire employees, figure out payroll, you know, different countries, completely different tax code. And so I flew to Calgary and I viewed all kinds of warehouses and I was ready to sign a lease. This is like a 10-year lease for a couple $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to hire a bunch of employees ahead of time, and I have zero revenue in Canada. And so I was going to have to take this huge risk, borrow money or not do other things. And I realized, well, why don't I just find a warehouse that already exists? And so one of my suppliers that makes this great tool grid, it's a drawer organization product, they've always told me, hey, Matt, if you ever need some help distributing, we got this big, beautiful warehouse. We'd love to help you. I was getting greedy in that, well, I want to build my own warehouse. I want to get all of it.
Yeah, it sounds like Tom. Like, I want to get all. I did everything. I did it all.
I love all of it.
Yeah, sometimes he just closes his door and screams, I did it all. And then he'll open it up. I'm like, what's going on in there? He's like, nothing.
And so I realized it was better to partner on this, give up half of it
Yeah.
in order to not have all the risk and not have to do it all. They already have great employees. All I got to do is teach them to pack a box the way that I pack a box.
Right.
And that's the general theme with business from the beginning. Like when I was editing my own videos, I'm like, no one could edit the way I edit. And then,
Daniel says that.
no one could do it the way I do.
No one can do it the way I do.
You're like both of us. Or with only your flaws.
But then I hired a young talented guy, an artist type guy, Bryce, and we sat down and I showed him how I edit, and he told me I was doing it all wrong. And I was like, all right. He's like, get out of there, get out of your seat. Let me sit here. Let me show you. And we edited 3 videos together, and I haven't edited a video since. And so I was holding on to this forever that, man, only I could build a great warehouse. And so, and this,
but you have to pay that man, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Thanks for being here, man. It's very good to see you. No.
One thing my business coach told me, this might help you, is that we think of, I got to pay this person $60,000 or $50,000 or in your case, $12,000. Right? I got to pay this person
$12,000.
My God, I was thinking more about
that's
$6,500.
You only have to pay.
What are we doing here? What are we? What am I? What are we making him a president?
$500 a month. That's good money.
What are we talking about here? My God.
You only have to come if you're going to pay someone $60,000. Can you come up with $5,000 this month?
No.
And then can you figure out a way to come up with $5,000 next month? And then by the 3rd month, are they like generating 50% of what you're paying them? And then by the 12th month, are they generating enough to cover their salary?
I don't think anybody here has ever generated anything. I think everybody here, because generation means that you are producing something, right? Like you're creating something. People here just suck it dry.
Wait, like suck on this.
It's
all going down.
We do very much. We very much adhere to the suck on this method.
Back to the person copying you. It reminded me of
when you were in grade school.
No,
you would copy all the time, wouldn't you?
We talked about Queso, who was a YouTube influencer, and my son watches, and then Daniel's like looked up Queso YouTube and found a fat guy with a beard.
There are 1 million of them now.
And then I looked and I was like, oh, that's him. He was just a fat white guy with a beard, because all fat white guys with beards look the same to me.
Also, all fat white guys with beards have streaming channels, apparently.
And his name was Queso, and he was sitting at a computer, and it looked the same exact.
Yeah,
red
hair. They had red hair, too.
We talked about it on the show, and then people emailed us. They're like, "That's not the same Queso. The Queso that your son watches has millions of followers.
Yeah.
Like this guy,
it's like streamer of the year. It's like 17 million followers.
And then I was so shocked. I was like, "There's just another guy just straight up ripped off his name, and it's like, I'll do the exact same thing, be named Queso, and literally." And I was like,
"It's like Gallagher too, and Gallagher."
And I didn't realize that happened.
I had no idea too. I mean, it's frustrating as heck. Is if you come up with a formula or come up with a system that's successfm, like the curated retail that I made up.
Yeah.
And then I made up this pressure washer, and you put it on a wall with a hose and all of this, and then you see that now we're at the point where there's like brands, like big companies that have this pressure washer on the wall that's copying what I did. They don't even know they're copying it.
Right.
Like they don't know the source.
Right.
Because it's 2 or 3, 4 copiers removed. So
Queso 4, the market.
Queso number 4 might not even know the original Queso exists, because he's copying Queso number 2.
Right. Yeah.
It's wild how that works.
You're right.
So, Matt, I'm curious you've had tremendous success, and obviously you're, opening up distribution in different countries, and, and you have, I imagine, all the cars you could want and all the things in your
I was coming to announce my bankruptcy.
Oh, God. They're like, do you have a job for us? I'm like, yes. You'll produce. you won't suck it.
I know this guy.
This guy.
Oh, my God.
This is my backup plan.
I might actually get healthier because this guy's
And in fact, I'm a little afraid you'll probably fire us eventually.
It's been a good run, Commandant.
You'll be like,
Welcome
hold
back
on.
to A Mediocre Time. I'm Matt Moreman.
You'll get to the point where you guys are sucking it. We need to get you guys out of here.
Well, I'll pull you aside. I'll pull you to the bathroom. I'll be like, he figured out we're sucking it.
So, have you gotten to the point where any of this has been boring to you?
No.
Okay, because because
is that because this is boring to you?
No.
Oh,
But I'm just curious to because there's only probably so many state of the art things you could put in your garage, and like you've manipulated something. Like you got almost to a plateau where it's like, what's the next?
That's kind of insulting. I don't think I'd say that. I don't think I'd say that to Matt.
No, you're 100% right.
I knew it.
So it started with I wanted an end-to-end detailing solution. Take care of your car, and then it turned to now I need to do the whole garage, the flooring, lighting, cabinets, and tools. And then it's I don't get to take the obsession out of my pocket and put it in the garage drawer when I walk in the house. Well, now I'm obsessed with the kitchen and the forks and the knives. I built a spreadsheet because I seem to move every 2 years or every year and a half. I buy a new house and move, and my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I buy all new everything. So I had a follower who made me an offer I couldn't refuse. He wanted my house with everything, the sheets, the forks, the knives, everything. The whole house as is.
Wait,
the garage.
We could have led with this. This is bizarre. So you had one of your guys that loves your YouTube channel and is
it's a little more complicated than that,
right.
But he's now actually a business partner of mine, and he was moving to the area to help me build a new business called Obsessed Home Theater. To answer your question, I'm doing home theater and house stuff.
Nice.
And so he said, "Look, I'm moving there. It's Lady Lake, Florida. All the houses suck. I've got a proposal for you. Why don't I buy your house?" This is going to sound ridiculous, but I have 2 houses in the town. And so he's like, why don't we move into the other house and I'll buy your house as is. Like, just leave it all. And leave the dishes, leave the
sheets, everything.
It's like a Matt Moreman super Airbnb, right? And so
I would leave a poo-poo.
So we made me an offer I couldn't, and I told him no, and then he made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and so I moved out like the next day and moved into the other house.
I've always wanted to make an offer people can't refuse, but everybody refuses my offer.
And so I made a spreadsheet when I moved into the other house of all the different things, all the ice cream scooper, the pizza cutter,
my God,
because you go for the
detail.
best of the best in like a
right.
pizza cutter. You're not gonna have some garbagey one. You're not gonna cut it with a knife. Certainly not.
There's like 190 things, like the garbage can that you would buy, the bags you need for the garbage can, the the stainless steel cleaner for the for the refrigerator, like all the little details that you would buy when you move into a house. So I made a spreadsheet. It's like 170 things. The knives that I use, and so I just was talking about it in the vlog. I made
super
a spreadsheet.
crazy. I love it because I feel like there are, and
you
it's funny.
can't wrap your brain around.
Can't.
This, can you?
It's like $15,000 worth of stuff. If you were going to sell your house and move, and you wanted to start fresh, all new, you need to know like what mixing, what colander are you going to get, all those different things. Well, I love all that stuff, and so I made a spreadsheet of 170 things. It's like $15,000 worth of stuff. And I just mentioned it in a vlog. I've sent that darn spreadsheet to like 5,000 people, like individually. They email me, "Hey, can I have the spreadsheet?" Sure, here it is. And
because you curated it for me, they're like,
right.
I don't want to know, I don't want to think about any of this. They're like, Matt thought about it all.
Well, even at the very least, it's a starting point, right? Like
so
to
now,
me,
so what I was getting at that's another. So I never get bored because that's another business.
Yeah,
I should have charged $100 for that spreadsheet. I would have made it, $500,000. On that. But
I couldn't do the math on that. That's how bad I am. That's how bad I am at business.
5,000
that should scare you. That should scare you. I have no idea what zeros. It's just you have the zeros at the end. I'm like, I don't.
But
care.
there's a business there on the Obsessed Home front. And so,
don't call it home front. That has a whole different vibe to it.
So the next business is to I'm actually building a design studio in the Villages. So we're going to build a studio, basically build a 4,500 square foot house in a town square where you can come, and the garage would be the anchor, right? You walk into the garage. But then I'm obsessed with the outdoor kitchen and what's in the drawers in the kitchen and the appliances. I pitched Wolf and Sub-Zero, the real high-end refrigerators, about becoming the local representative for Wolf Sub-Zero. And then I think that social media in the future, Gary Vee talked about this here recently, where he talked about each individual piece of content matters. Or before you had to be like Queso, you had to be a streamer, you're going to talk about whatever, Call of Duty, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
If you shared something else, like your love for cooking or your love for fishing, you couldn't do that.
Okay.
But now, each individual piece of content matters because there's so many content creators that each episode you make can stand alone. And so one thing that I think a lot of people are interested in is if I built the design studio, yes, I will sell stuff locally, but if I bring everybody along on that journey, the business journey, if I'm going to advertise in the newspaper, share that. If I'm going to, figure out how to advertise locally on Facebook, share that. The national and international audience will watch that as well. And then when I go and build somebody's garage locally, I share the transformation of that. And it makes my national business grow exponentially because they can see a concrete example.
Right.
Because what I've been doing is traveling around the country building garages.
How many you built now?
Maybe only like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
It is hard, yeah.
I'd
Takes
rather
a while,
just
right?
do it down the street.
Yeah.
And so I decided to build this design studio. You guys know the Villages. It's this concentrated group of retirees.
Why'd you decide to do it in the Villages?
Well, that's where I live. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean,
and so we're going to build. So imagine big clear glass garage doors in one of their town squares. They usually get somewhere around 1 million people a year that walk through the town, that come to the town square for restaurants and shops. And so I'm going to build a state-of-the-art garage.
And they all have money, and they'll be dead soon.
Yeah,
so they're spending it.
Yeah, I mean,
and
they do. They do
their
have a lot
kids
of
come
money.
and visit.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it in the world. And so again, to answer your question about do I get bored, and I have too much to do, too many cool things to share, and so I'm going to build this and share that process, and then I'll bring everybody along the ride with me. And so build a business, share with people how I'm building business. The other nice thing is then the people I need to hire will call me and say, hey, can you hire me? So I won't have a difficult time finding people to work there. And then the national business also will grow from that as well. So we'll be designing their garage, their house, their outdoor kitchen, everything in the home is that I
Will you still travel any, or like for bigger gigs or whatever? Or?
Probably not. I probably won't have a lot of time for it.
No need to. Yeah.
But what we may do is, since I'm going to be building an install division, a labor division, I will we'll have like the crack team, the best team that gets to go to California to build the garage, and I get to show up instead of, because when I do the garages, I have to do it.
Right.
Like me and 2 of my guys will laying the tile and
it's a lot of
running
work.
the wires.
Yeah.
And you're there for 8, 9, 10 days, working 12, 14 hours a day. I want to be like Chip and Joanna Gaines, where you just show up and swing one hammer, and then you go back to your mansion and you come back and pretend like you just did the whole thing. That's what I
but
wanna
your
do.
design team was there just
Correct,
kicking ass.
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about building an outdoor kitchen, because I'll explain how I built mine to Matt, and then the process,
yeah.
and then we'll go through his process.
Yeah, so you're going to lay out your spec.
Yeah.
And then he can...
So we'll start with, I got Gannon to build the base.
So bribery, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of
So,
bribery.
it
Center
was,
block.
so what he had to do is find friend.
Yeah. I got my buddy.
Step 1, find buddy.
And
Okay.
he was hard up for some cash,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'll give you $400 to build me this outdoor kitchen. Just put some cinder blocks, stucco on the outside.
Yeah.
You
It's
just put some tile or whatever.
Like building a shopping cart barbecue.
And then I'm like, now I need a grill. And then this electrician buddy of mine, we've had him on the show.
Yeah, we have.
He called me and he's like, hey, I'm building these new
Apartments.
like townhouses near Disney.
Yeah, they were townhomes,
and they
yeah.
all have artisan outdoor kitchen grills.
Okay.
But with the scratched ones, they tell us to
The one
throw
that
away.
fell off the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And then
There's
he's
some
like-
scratch ones. He's like, they tell us to put those back.
And he's like, if you drive over here Tuesday morning, I'll give you $700 cash. And it's like it's $2,300 artisan grill. I'm like, I'll be there. And he's like, and I got the pellets in a pillowcase. So I drove there, and then he gave me. And then he's like,
The idea of first of all, they're briquettes, and but calling them pellets.
well, I mean, they were
And
like.
Artisan doesn't use those, by the way. It's only propane,
I
so
mean-
we're off to a bad start.
No,
but
it's
he
like-
put them in there because they're in there now.
Oh, boy.
I meant the ceramic things
yeah,
that sit in the
okay,
heat
okay.
up.
Yeah.
That I ruined them all.
Yeah, he drilled holes in them.
Yeah.
There's no fire coming through.
And then, of course, the tile on top fell off, and then Concrete Mike had to come build me a concrete
Slab on the
slab. He did that.
What talk about with sink. You have a sink.
Yeah.
You
You have a sink, but it
some-
falls into the bottom.
You had speakers. You had
just drains
speakers
into
about
the
it.
yard.
but the
He had like some Wappa
I had
John
to
boat
cut-
speakers that are rusted and falling off.
Yeah, Gannon put the boat speakers. I had to cut
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
and now the
He's
wires
like-
are hanging.
yeah.
I taped them up to the top so no one see the wires.
This dude's got to have a Jimmy Buffett if he's out there grilling sausage.
Oh, yeah,
I was gonna get doors, but they're too expensive.
You have a
They're
door?
like $180.
You have a rusted door. There's a rusted
I
door
had to
under
kick
there.
that out of there. But anyways.
That's the one that's got the. Don't you have like a gas tank under there or something nefarious?
So
Then it's-
what's
then
a
it's-
better way? Then?
Then it's illegally plugged into a. It's illegally like wired into or plumbed. I don't know anything about gas. Into like a commercial grade hotel. You have like a hotel gas. What is the thing you have?
No. It was a gas heater for
For a hotel.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he bought one from
It
another.
was a pool guy. It was a listener. Everything comes from listeners.
It's so oversized. It's so oversized. It'll heat his pool in 5
Hold on,
seconds.
you've got rich, but you're rich viewers. They offer to buy your house for $10 million. I get concrete Mike. Like, I'll
Ours
do this
don't do
concrete.
that. No, ours just go like, look, I'm buying Rolexes. The guys we listen to can't afford these.
Anyway, so outdoor kitchens.
So here's how you would do it.
Okay.
You know, this is the better way to do it. So you would hire a designer. We have I have designers.
Designer.
Yeah, hey,
I have
thanks for being
designers
here,
on
man.
staff. So
You
you
go
would-
online, just type outdoor kitchen. Like, this is the one.
you draw it, right? So
Okay.
first we take photos
His
of
hands
the
don't work.
area,
You can't draw.
right? You have the plans for your house,
Okay.
right? So you can see, like, let's say it's a lanai, and you would draw it, 3D render it, draw it, choose the colors and stuff like that. And then we import. Oh, this is gonna sound bad. We import cabinets from Canada. I think they're made in somewhere in Ontario, but they're a composite, so it has a PVC enclosure. So like the cabinet portion, not the face, but the cabinet portion is either black or white PVC. So it will never rot. It'll never mold. It'll never mildew. And then
Mine has mildew.
And rust. I mean, yours looks like an old junk. Look at an old. His outdoor kitchen looks like somebody parked an old car out back, and then you just set like a table on the top.
that
of it.
green Florida
Yeah,
funk.
patina.
It makes it look rustic.
And then this company takes teak, and then they make a mold out of a sheet of teak, and one piece of teak can make like 10 different drawer faces or door faces.
Yeah.
And so then they make a resin composite replica of that piece of teak wood. And so you get a
That's
PVC and resin enclosure, like an actual, like you could take that cabinet, throw it in the bottom of your pool, pull it out 10 years later, and it'll be exactly the same. So it's UV, coated. It's also, moisture can't mess it up.
Yeah.
And so it looks like a high-end outdoor cabinet or indoor cabinet, like your kitchen cabinets you can put inside, outside. Now, problem is that they're like, I don't know, $600 or $700 a linear foot or something like that.
Oh
So-
my God!
I don't
So
even know
an
what a
outdoor-
linear foot is. I don't know. That's an
So
alien foot, right?
an outdoor kitchen is generally like say you got 10 or 12 grand worth of cabinets, right? And then so you buy the cabinets, and then you decide.
You
what,
have
what-
one little cabinet that's rusted, and it has a gas tank in it, like an old blue Rhino inside.
That's my emergency blue Rhino.
And so then you got to hire a plumber to run. Because I have natural gas, so you run the natural gas line, so you're not having to
You
replace
ran
the
it
tank.
yourself,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
by the way, was so scary. The same guy brought over the the hotel pool heater, and they did the gas themselves. I was like,
Yeah.
you should not be doing that.
I'm
Oh,
more
yeah.
of an unnatural gas guy. Natural gas overrated.
Yeah, I like man-made gas.
And then Artisan's actually a pretty good grill. That's made by Alfresco.
Not
Alfresco's
now.
the high-end version.
Not now. You should see it. Oh my God, this thing is burnt more sausages.
Yeah.
I don't have a joke for that, but I should.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
have created a.
The
a
right
funny joke
side,
there.
it burns at 9,000 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's got it.
It's all rusted. The burners got rusted
Okay.
out, and the burners are $400 a piece.
I
I'm
thought
like,
they're stainless steel. How are
Man,
they rusted?
the burner somehow got like rusted or something wrong with him.
Well,
so
it
we
rained
had
in
an
there.
intern at the time, and he had the intern come over, and there was a metalhead intern, and he had him sit in his backyard in a leather vest with a big black grandma hat on, and use a drill to drill holes in all of the burners so the flame would shoot through.
Oh, because they were all clogged up.
Clogged with rust. I gave him the hat because it was hot.
So is that the obsessed way? Is that what you would do?
No.
Is that what you and your
He
cronies would
needed
do?
money, and I was trying to figure out jobs he could do. It was like, oh, this burners doesn't work, and they're $400 a piece.
So he didn't want to buy the guts. We looked it up on the website, and he needed a new one, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody knows how to put the guts in a grill.
Right, you just pop it out, and they make it so that it's modular.
Yes.
You can pop it out and put it back
And,
in.
but he
Yeah,
didn't want
$400
to
a piece.
spend $400, so
It's
he had
$800
the
for
metal
both.
head in.
But those holes are like a specific size.
Yeah, not his.
the
His-
tiniest drill.
So then when he would turn it on to light it,
Oh, yeah.
he'd go woof, and then you put it on level 1, and it's a full inferno.
Oh, it burned it out. 900 degrees. The temperature gauge broke because it got so hot. Melted the inside.
You made him laugh, so you got him.
But I got around the burners.
This does help you, right? This does inspire
This
you.
is therapy.
I
Yeah,
found
yeah,
some Temu burners for $89, and they're in there now. Oh, it would break Matt's heart. He'd say, like, I open up, it's not the artisan burner, it's Temu, and they fit in there. I'm like, I got to
Yeah,
fit.
just wrap some
Jammed
duct
it
tape.
in there. Hammer it in there.
Some
yeah.
fire comes off the top, but it's fine. So, an outdoor kitchen,
Oh,
the
my God.
nicest outdoor kitchen, what are we talking?
Like $100 grand. Yeah,
100 grand! Oh my God! I mean, what
Oh my
what
God.
else do you have in there? Like, there's
We got the hood. You got the grill.
You don't
But
got
there's
no
like
hood.
outdoor
No,
fridge
You don't
and
have
like-
a hood. You have a old umbrella over the top of you. He's talking about a cooking hood that
Yeah,
sucks up all
yeah,
the exhaust.
Oh, yeah, I got the
Yeah.
umbrella.
You got the built-in garbage can. You got to do drawer organization. So you put all your cooking utensils and stuff.
Right,
and
just
then you
put
need
those
the
on the top.
Evo.
Just put
You
those
need
on
to
the
look
grill.
this up. You
Hey.
need an Evo cooktop. It's a big 30-inch flat top griddle. It's called the Evo.
Evo.
Yeah.
You have a camping
If I gotta
stove. He has a camping Blackstone that he cooks
I bring that out if I need the griddle.
Yeah.
Oh,
If he wants to go fancy.
yeah. You know, if I'm making some
Smash
sausages.
burgers.
Then you want to buy have you ever seen Big Ass Fan?
Yeah.
Their company.
Oh, yeah.
They make the best fans, but those are a couple grand.
Hot
for
as
the
hell.
fan that's out there.
Grand.
Yeah.
Hot as hell at your house. Oh my God, we're out there. And they're like
Proper lighting. You need
umbrellas everywhere. It looks like the Current seafood restaurant. Have you ever been in the Current? They have decorative umbrellas all on the top. Tom, he'll just hand you an umbrella.
granite countertops. You got to get those made and cut.
Tom
and
went straight
bar
concrete.
stools. Bar stools. So when you're 150 grand to do it right.
You have bar stools.
Yeah. IKEA, the metal, they
Yeah.
are rusted though. I try to keep them out of the rain, but I forget every time.
Put them under the umbrella.
Yeah. And
Best place to get bar stools for outside is Palm Casual in Orlando. They're based in Orlando.
all right.
Guy, the family that owns it, they live. Shaq's big house, the big
Yes.
blue roof.
Yeah.
They were like the neighbors from Shaq.
I will say that I just purchased a couple of chairs from Palm Casual, and they have a great warranty on their stuff too.
Yeah, it lasts forever.
Yeah,
You can't
they're good.
mold, can't rust.
It's expensive, but it's good. It's great
Yeah.
stuff. I bought 2 chairs for the front of my house from there.
But they're based in Orlando. They're all over the country. But
Yeah.
the Crowfits own that company, and they
That's funny. I like those
great
people.
great family, and they make awesome stuff. So
Also,
go in
here's a
Orlando.
weird aside. I have my mom's patio furniture, and it was Palm Casual, and they still make the same.
Yeah.
And I was able to go and match it. Like I brought the table
Really?
to the lady, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we still make that." So we bought the 2 chairs for the front of right now. they're
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
Are like 2024 versions of the stuff my mom bought in like 81.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, because
Yeah.
they do, it's like, Trex decking, that like composite decking.
Yeah,
they make
yeah.
furniture out of that same kind of stuff, and it lasts forever. Even
Yeah.
you couldn't ruin it.
I gotta ruin it, Matt.
He's very confident.
I'm curious, Matt. Have you with how much your reach is? I'm sure you've got some other guys like you that they may be way richer than you that have
yeah.
gone further. And have you walked into like a garage or someone's
yeah.
house and been impressed, and you're like, whoa,
No.
no.
That's an honest
Mon-
answer.
mon-
I like that.
Well, money can't buy the information, right? And so, yeah, they can do marble and they can do fancy wood, but they're missing like the professional grade. They're missing the right cabinets. They're missing the right right washing area. They do fancy. They do pretty. They do like weird floors, but but so they do all the like the showy stuff because contractors know how to do that. Just basically make your garage a kitchen.
They're just throwing money at it.
But they're missing the having the right hose reel, having the right air compressor, having the right tools, and so that's why I think there's such a huge opportunity in the world. I mean, there's people with money that would want it, but they don't know that it exists, and so that's where the reach comes in. That's where I've infinite. There's infinite upside. I went to a BMW racing school up in South Carolina.
Okay.
This was last year.
Oh, did you get to ride at the factory?
Yeah,
Okay.
see, that's where you can take delivery of cars.
Yeah,
and
my
stuff.
dad took delivery there and got to take his car out.
It's called the BMW Performance Center.
That's awesome.
Performance Delivery Center. And so I'm there, and there's 30 people in the class. 2 people, no, this would be the place that people would know me, right? Would know Obsessed Garage.
Yeah.
2 people of the 30 knew who Obsessed Garage was, knew who I was. And the other 28 were my prototype customers, had no idea, no clue. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this is a real opportunity that, I can do this for the rest of my life, just trying to find people that would be interested in a better way and a more particular way to put their garage together, or their outdoor kitchen, or their home theater. And so I think that obsessed brand, that obsessed lifestyle, me sending the spreadsheet of all the houseware stuff, all this little nickel and dime stuff that adds up to a system, is kind of what I'm born to do. And so I'll never run out of run out of stuff to do.
Yeah, you sent me down just from one of your videos, and it wasn't even a car video. It wasn't a destination, Obsessed Garage video. It wasn't a behind the scenes. Of all things, the one that I spent the most amount of time on that you showed me, and I got obsessed with it, was faucets.
Oh, yeah.
He did some faucet thing, and then I went to this website of these like handmade,
Waterstone,
and
I've never even thought about a
I will
faucet.
never own one of these. Andrea will never let me purchase a faucet that's this expensive.
We did one at LZ's, Adam LZ's. It was like
is that where I saw it?
12 grand.
Yeah,
12 grand faucet?
Yeah, 12 grand faucet. And then so I went on the website, and then I started seeing, and then there's tons of videos of people buying them, how they make, and then you can go down the premium $12,000 faucet.
Does it have a weed smoking screen?
But think about it. You use your kitchen faucet 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Now the reason it was so expensive is we did it in like bronze for LZ's colors, and we did it
right. It was hyper custom.
Right. That the base version of it's still $6,000, but it's made out of solid brass.
Yeah,
they
from like one piece, right? Like,
right. They make it out of like a
it's
forged piece of brass.
It's the stuff I like because it's he'll disagree, but you'll know what I mean. It's a giant waste of time. Now to Matt, it's not, because you're getting the best of the best. But I love it when comedy bit that you've driven for 4 hours, and what did we get? Just that little bit. I love that. I love the.
There's diminishing returns in that.
So there is some appreciation I have for it when you say it's all from one block, and then it took this many hours to mill it. I think that's cool.
They built it. So I actually toured the company, went out and toured their facility and how they do it. They design a faucet.
Yeah.
And they say, this is what I want it to be. And then they build it. And then they figure out what it costs. That's a lot of what in an obsessed life is. Let's build what it needs to be. Build it to what it needs to be. And then we'll back in a margin and make it a business. And then there are some people who may want that. There's a lot of different things that I've created or have sold or have put in the store that, of course, it's ridiculous. It's really expensive, costs a lot. But that's what it needed to be. It needed to be that. And so like we made this fitting just to quick disconnect. So when you're the foam can, you see people foaming their cars.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to screw the top on. Every time you filled it with soap, you have to unscrew it. And it's metal and plastic, didn't work really well.
Yeah, it's a pain.
And so my buddy made me a quick disconnect so I could just pop it off. That quick disconnect, he was making them himself in his factory in Texas. And I think they were like $120. The foam can only costs like $80. So we got this little fitting that's $120. We're making them one at a time, and yeah, we probably eventually could have made them in China and made them for half. But he built it what it needed to be, and I wanted it out of stainless, so it cost a lot of money. And then people lose their crap about, well, how could you charge that much? And then we showed them This is the raw material cost. This is the labor cost. This is the spring. This is all the parts and pieces.
Right.
It cost us $80, and we're charging $120 because we got to ship it. We got to make a margin on it.
Yeah.
But it needed to be that, and that's what it cost. And so build it what it needs to be, and then figure out what it costs.
You know what's interesting? I'm looking like the psychology of our world right now is so disgusting to me with the amount of waste because everything's being produced so cheap. Like, people are buying like new 4-wheeler carburetors from China because it's cheaper to buy a brand new one and just throw away your
Than to rejet it?
Yeah, than to fix the one
Yeah.
that you have. And then that's what the world we live in. You can manufacture cheap garbage cheaper, and then so we're just buying garbage, and then it's like, and then now you're opening up an opportunity for like, hey, we're selling the best of the best for super expensive, but it will last you and it's quality. And then I feel like people are kind of gravitating more towards that at a certain level. I mean, because they want something that's actually not just garbage. That,
I think it's always been there, but that is who your guy is.
Yeah,
right?
because most things, you go to Home Depot, the Home Depot buyer says, I need you to make this thing for this amount of money. And you get what you get. And so it's generally going to suck, right? I need you to make this rake for $10. Well, a good rake might cost $25. But nope, we only have 10. It's got to be 10. And so then they got to cut corners and make it junk. And then it lasts, that $25 rake might last, like you said, 100 years. But the $10 one lasts 15 minutes. And whatever is only $10, throw it away and buy a new one. And that's how most things are made. But then there's a whole other world with cars and with with everything that where they make it to what it needs to be, not to a price point.
And I know
we always go for the price point.
And
I'm kind of
cheaper than that.
Yeah, we're like, you got to make it cheaper.
No, you're right.
And then you know what we do? We're like, make it cheaper. They're like, we can't. We're like, we won't do it.
Well, Matt, Obsessed Garage is
man.
Matt's YouTube channel. A lot of our listeners already know. Like, I've had people buy garage stuff from you and then tell me like,
absolutely.
Hey, they're like, hey Tom, you should get this. Some
people like the
garage floor that it's on Obsessed Garage, and I'm like, wait, no, Matt. Maybe he has some extra laying around.
Our listeners have more money than us, so they'll write me and be like, I bought his bucket system. You don't have that, do you? And I'm like, no, I had to just find buckets in my garage.
Real quick, last question. Best TV. What TV do you buy?
You want organic LED, so OLED. LG, Sony, Samsung. There's only two makers. LG and Samsung are the only two manufacturers of organic LED. So OLED is what everybody calls it. But I like the G4 LG. That's the best. And so they make it in 55, 65, 77, 83, and then there's a 97, but the 97 is like 20 grand. So
let's buy the 97.
83 is $4,000. So there's A, B, C, and G. So it just kind of goes up the line. So A is the cheapest, B, so you probably want the A, and then.
Have you seen the Westinghouse?
It's
got Roku built in,
How do you feel
Matt?
about a Magnavox?
But if you get like a C4 LG OLED, a 65 inches, like $1,800, $2,000 now. That's the best TV that exists.
Okay.
And then you should hire an ISF calibrator to come and calibrate the display. So after it's been played for about 100 hours, you go to ISF, it's Image Science Foundation. You hire a guy, and they'll come out. There's a bunch of them in Orlando.
I have something to admit. I've done that with every TV I've had.
A calibrator?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Takes
I
them 4 or
can
5
turn
hours.
up and down the brightness.
No, you absolutely can. He had a thing, and he put the
Cowman,
thing.
yeah,
he put the thing on the thing,
Yeah.
and it's going, and he's checking it, and he's like, okay, and he's dialing it in.
No, you just turn up the brightness. Stop.
There's like
Calibrated.
there's the Daniel knows that there's the HDR standard, like BT 20, 30 or whatever. So they
he's
calibrate
right.
it to that color gamut spec.
So that when you
Damn it.
we got to get out of here. Matt, we love you, buddy. Hey, happy holidays.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
everything,
having
man.
me.
Good seeing you.
We got to do more of this. All right, we will see you next week.